Hey guys, so it's Coach Alexis, and I'm just getting into Sisters, Oregon, which is a little small town outside of Bend, and it takes about 3 hours to get here from Portland, 2.5 if I'm good. And I promised that I wouldn't make a video until tomorrow, because tomorrow I am doing a live webinar or a live chat on YouTube, and I will post the link to that as soon as I have it. If you are available during 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, then you can tune into it. And the topic is really just my story and how I outgrew my mediocre life. And I don't really know what I'm going to talk about, and I think I'm just going to kind of wing it and just share as much as I can. But yeah, I am just very fortunate to be able to, it's crazy because I feel like what's happening right now is very similar to probably what every successful entrepreneur goes through at some point. And I struggled a lot with being consistent in building an income. Like, being your own boss is difficult, and the more I talk to other entrepreneurs, the more I realize that I really was born to be unemployable and not have a boss. And like, I think about everything that I've been through, and I think about how I was as a little girl, and it's almost like this opportunity was like built for me a long time ago, you know. I don't know if you might not even know if you're that type of person yet, but I want to give you maybe some quick like signs, or some quick signs for you, and maybe if you feel this type of way or these things happen to you, maybe it's kind of a sign that you aren't really meant for the straight path, and you aren't really meant for the go to college, get a 9-to-5, make $50,000, $60,000 a year, and, you know, get by like a majority of Americans do. And I forget the statistics exactly, but I think 3 out of 4, or it's either 3 out of 4 or 1 in 3 Americans have less than $1,000 in their savings account. And that's a huge amount of people. Like, I guess I just didn't realize that. And a lot of the people, and because I talk to a lot of people, I've realized that a majority, and I know it's taboo to talk about how much money you make, but who taught you that? You know, who taught you that it wasn't okay to talk about that kind of stuff? So I think it's important to talk about, because when we avoid things is when we can't improve on them or grow on them in that area. And I know when I don't look at my bank account and when I don't track my spending, so usually when I don't look at my bank account, it's usually because I'm not doing well, you know. It's because I'm spending frivolously and not being responsible. And there's like two last things that I've kind of been like areas that my weaknesses, and that's time and money. I'm not very good at delegating myself and keeping track of like how many hours I put in, and I'm always feeling like I don't have enough time to do everything. And I realize that time and money are both, all they are is they're both like a really good friend. So if you don't respect your friends, they're gonna stop showing up for you. If you talk badly about your friends, or you talk about how, like, the type of characteristic flaws that they have, they're not gonna show up for you in ways that you need, and you're gonna start looking and only focusing on the bad parts about these people in your lives, your friends who you care about, and they've been your friends forever, and you need them, and you're going to not really have a very good relationship with them, especially if you flake on people. People are going to stop relying on you. You're going to put a bad name for yourself out there. Money is the same exact thing. If you don't show up for it, if you don't respect it, if you aren't responsible with it, you aren't going to get any more of it. I'll tell you that much. I don't care how hard you work, how much overtime you put in. If you want to build real wealth, you're going to have to start respecting it. You're going to have to start organizing it. You're going to have to start showing up for it in ways you never have before. And that is empowering to me. I have never, ever, ever thought about money that way. And so let me get to the signs. Okay, here's a sign that you might not be successful on the straight path, and you might just work a dead-end job and be miserable. So if you have a hard time going to work, if you thrive on recognition and you aren't recognized in incredible ways from your job for the hard work that you put in, and it drives you nuts, and if you complain about your boss, if you hate waking up early, ding, 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 you might not be employable. If you don't like having other people depend on you to be at a place at a certain time, if you call into work a lot, if you lie and say you're sick, these are all things I did. If you lie and say you're sick, if you have a hard time showing up for class, if you have a hard time doing your homework, even though you're a pretty bright person, if you feel like you were meant for something way bigger than what's going on in your life right now, it's because you were, and you are. You're meant for something much bigger. So if you crave lavish things like free time and traveling, if you're motivated by travel and you want to be able to take a week off and drive 3 hours away to go see your boyfriend or your friend or your family, or who knows, some really cool chick you met on Instagram and you want to go work out with her, and you don't want to have to take the time off from work, and you don't want to have to budget or save up money for it, you can just do it on the fly. I have to keep making videos like this because one day, very soon, it's going to be a completely different story, and I'm going to be all over the world. And you don't have to have big dreams like I do. I just want it all. I don't want to dabble around. I want to be the best, and only for myself. And not only for myself, that's a lie. I want to be the best because there is so many people out there who are so stuck in their little world and are just limiting their potential because of their subconscious and things that they learned growing up. I want to do it for you. I want to do it for those people, and I still have a ton of work to do on myself, but I want to do it for those people who doubted themselves, who've been criticized, who grew up feeling like they were the odd one out. I used to sit alone at lunch in high school, okay? Because I chose to. I didn't feel like I clicked with anyone. And now I have more friends, like awesome, genuine friends who like dig the same kind of stuff I do, and I created all of it, and it took a long time for me to get comfortable in my own skin. It took a long time, and I continue to talk to myself in a positive way. Even when I didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, I continued to pursue that because my coach was so inspiring and so convicted in her journey that I just believed her. I just believed her undoubtedly. I was like, well, shit, the way I've been doing things hasn't been giving me the life that I wanted. I'm going to trust her. I'm going to take the leap. And now I'm addicted. I am straight up addicted and obsessed with taking leaps and investing in myself. I spend a lot of money. And I spend a lot of money on personal development and going to places where I'm going to get that personal development. And I spend a lot of money on health and fitness programs because I know that if I take care of my body, that it's going to show up for me, and I'm going to be more confident, and I'm going to be more, I don't know, everything. So if any of that sounds like you, then you might want to look into being your own boss. And who knows, it can give you the freedom to do whatever you want. Maybe you don't want to travel. Maybe you want to buy a house and settle. Maybe you're at that point in your life. Maybe you're working 9 to 5 and you want to give your family a better life. And yeah, I don't want you to think you can't do that. Like, really, you totally can. And it just starts with you believing that. So if you'd like to tune in tomorrow, you can do so. Just go to www.tinyurl.com/realizeyourworth and RSVP, and I'll post a link in that Facebook event group, and we can continue the conversation there. Thanks for listening to me ramble, and I hope everyone had a great weekend. Bye.